Friends, we are in the middle of the current Sephora fall sale event, and because I'm Rouge, I was able to shop starting 10/31, but I actually didn't start shopping until like the 3rd. I started filling my basket, but ended up actually visiting a Sephora store, and that's when I perused and I went over my wish list, and I have a few items to share and will be a first impressions because this will be the first time I'm trying them on, as well as some comparisons because I wanted to compare a lot of the dark brown lipsticks that I purchased. So I'm excited to dive into it with you, and will certainly return, be it a separate video or perhaps updating you in the November favorites as to how these products are working out. But yeah, a lot of these were on my wish list for quite some time. I was finally able to get my hands on them, and a huge thank you to Bay, my Bay right here, who was kind enough to cover the majority of the cost for my purchase. So this portion of the video is sponsored by him. That was very nice of him to kind of just gift me shopping at Sephora during the sale, and I'm excited to get into a few of these, but I wanted to cover these items that I will not be demonstrating, but just wanted to share why I bought them. And that is a small tube of the Ordinary Squalane cleanser. This is the cleanser from the brand that addresses makeup removal, and I've been using this for like the entire summer. I think I might have purchased this maybe June, late May. I have to look into or review my purchase history, and I should have just purchased a larger tube, but I do like to travel with the smaller size. And what I enjoy about the Squalane cleanser from The Ordinary is simplicity in the formula. It's lightweight, there's no fragrance, it just does what it does, and when I rinse it off, my skin feels clean. It doesn't feel like there's any residue left behind. Again, it's just straightforward. But I also picked up the Then I Met You Living Cleansing Balm. Now, this isn't the first time I've used this product. Back when I was deep into skincare, this is a product I use because this is the line created by the founder of Soko Glam. And it was a huge deal at that point because she was like the pioneer in introducing K-beauty to the US through her online retail store. And now here she is creating her own line. Let me get her name. My apologies. Charlotte Cho. CC. So when Charlotte dropped Then I Met You, that's when I picked up the Living Cleansing Balm. But the reason I have this is because I have started using aluminum-free deodorants again, not just my Thai deodorant spray. And what I found with those formulas, the aluminum-free sticks, is they can't be removed just by water and soap alone. So I resorted to actually using makeup removing balms and products to get the residue off from my armpits, but also read that the sweat from your armpits is different from sweat glands on the rest of your body because fatty acids are actually in the sweat, like with the water and salt, not like how it is on rest of body. So I'm like, okay, well, if makeup removers are designed to break down oils and lipids because of the oil found in makeup, wouldn't that have a similar effect to cleansing my armpits? This is a theory on my part. I didn't look into it deeply. It's just surface level speculation. But I thought, why not? Using the cleansing balm for my armpit cleansing is actually quite delightful. The Living Cleansing Balm has a light citrusy scent that feels nice, not only on the armpits, but also on my face. So I did also use it on my face just because to try it out. I haven't done so in a long time. And this is a fantastic product. I think one of the better performing makeup balms on the market. Yes, there is fragrance and it is quite rich when you first apply it, but once you warm it up with the application, it feels silky, it feels nice, and when rinsed off with water, there's no residue left behind, but the skin feels soft, it doesn't feel stripped. It's a lovely experience. So these are two of the products that are included in this haul. But now let's get into the makeup, and I also wanted to start from the bottom up in applying foundation and then taking you through the products that are included in this haul. So if that sounds like a plan, it's time for you to come in a little closer. Fresh, blemished skin for your viewing pleasure. I didn't pick up a moisturizer, so I should get one, no? Not gonna lie, I've been using this deluxe sample of the Belle Royale serum with the little golden beads. I quite like this product, and if I were to purchase it now, better time than any, so I could get 20% off of it, but I don't even think it's worth it. Because I primarily rely on this product for skin prep. Not that I feel it's going to transform my skin over the long term, although I know that's what some people believe, and that's definitely how it's marketed. But ooh, it's nice. I like it. It does have fragrance, so don't know if I could get away with applying this during the spring. We'll see. Skin is prepped, and funny, I didn't buy a new foundation during the sale. I know it's still going on. It actually just started for VIB holders on the 4th and runs through, I believe, the 12th, the 10th, the 12th. We got a little bit of time. I didn't buy another foundation because I have been quite happy with my dynamic duo, the Givenchy Glow Serum Foundation and the Prada Reveal in MN60. They're feeling a little light. We're running down. So I suspect possibly by the time the spring sale arrives, maybe that will present an opportunity for me to purchase another foundation of one that I actually finished. Quite satisfying achievement if you ask me. So I like to mix these together because I adore the more golden undertone provided by the Givenchy, but that fluid texture, which is also present in the Givenchy, but just outstanding in the Prada as well. It was hard for me actually to try another foundation because once you've nailed your complexion product, meaning wear one that just literally transforms your skin but doesn't cover the skin, it simply enhances it in the most elegant fashion. And I appreciate how my skin looks on photos, on video when I apply this cocktail. Do I wish the Givenchy wasn't so fragrant? Yes, I do. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I tolerate it because it's just, I say, hot take, I think one of the best formulated foundations in the market. I know it's luxury beauty, I know it's fragrance, and of course not everybody, I'm applying a little bit more, not everyone will like this foundation because it might not be for your specific skin type. But ooh-wee, it is in the top. I think one of the top performing foundations out there. And yeah, until I find another one that I absolutely adore, it's gonna be pretty tough for me to replace this cocktail. You know what I mean? Now, I recently reviewed the Make Beauty, Make Cosmetics. That's actually not sold at Sephora, but maybe it's only a matter of time, actually. Their diffusion dew, but it does have like those iridescent sparkles in there. Don't know if I would buy it because of that. It's not a deal breaker for me. I just think the Givenchy and Prada are a better product. So I think we applied enough. But you see what I mean? You can still see the blemishes, but they're just lessened. They're not as intense looking. And my skin, I adore the texture, how it looks. It just appears smooth. Now following up with the Gucci concealer. I think I'm going to get my Gucci concealer from Susie over at Nordstrom because actually she wasn't there when I had purchased this. Another attendant helped me out with this buy, but I would like to go and possibly get the tint from her because Susie was kind in providing 3 samples for Gucci's Glow Tint. But again, don't know, even though I think it's a great product, don't know if I need it because I could argue because I can mix the Givenchy Glow Serum with like a moisturizer and have it perform more like a tint versus a foundation. If I'm being honest, I actually don't need a dedicated tint, but for those who prefer using tint-like products, by all means, go for it. I do like the Gucci Glow Tint a lot, specifically for the fact that it doesn't have any fragrance. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, I was expecting fragrance from Givenchy. I need a mirror. All right, skin is looking good so far. I do have to make sure to not apply so much because I can get a little out of hand. I can. So to offset that, I'm taking my smaller Bichero brush and buffing out the portions that tend to cling to makeup more so than others, and that's just kind of smoothing out the blend here, ensuring that there's not too much makeup on one portion of my face. I know, we love what's happening. Foundation is on. I think we can follow up with these two complexion products, or I think specifically I should say cheek products, and that is the Givenchy limited edition highlighter and their contour bronzer press powder. Ooh wee. Okay, let's first get into the details, and I'll first describe the Givenchy Prisme Libre bronzing powder. This retails for $60, but of course, if you could get the 20 or 15% off, it'll knock off some from that. I purchased it in 003 organza bronze for medium to deep complexions, and it says here it is a lightweight buildable matte bronzer that blends naturally to blur the appearance of pores and enhance the complexion with a sun-kissed glow. Medium coverage, matte finish. The multi-use bronzer combines 4 complementary colors to expertly bronze, sculpt, and illuminate. Use all quadrants together for all-over warmth, or apply individual quadrants to define, contour, and sculpt targeted areas. The non-comedogenic and non-drying formula leaves a long-lasting and filter-like result. I chose 003 because I thought 002 was just gonna do like the bare minimum, and for $60, even with the discount, even at $48-50, I wanted to make sure this was gonna give me a little something then, barely there but just enough. Even though it says matte, this quadrant here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, has shimmer, as opposed to, there you go, as opposed to the other 3. So that is a little more of like a satin powder, but allow me again to swatch all 4 quadrants, and this is the shade we're getting. It's definitely on the more warm side. I would say this is like mahogany with a little bit of caramel. It's pretty. There is fragrance, but I knew what I was getting into. It's fine. And we'll get into the highlighter in a second, but let's first, I'm dying to see this in action. I don't think you understand. I was waiting until this arrived to the States when it dropped in Europe, but I'm kicking off a little bit because hi, hello there. Ooh, that's nice. It definitely packs a punch. So if you're my skin twin and you were looking at 003, you should do it, because 002 I think will give you something. It's Popeline Bronzier, I'm sorry for my French is terrible, for light to medium complexions. Something will definitely show up, but if you just wanted a little more this going on, and also as the description outlined, you can be a little more precise with where you pick up the powder. So maybe if you don't want as much depth, you'll avoid this quadrant, but I'm actually curious to see what will happen if we picked up exclusively from the darkest quadrant, because my gosh, that is some shady. My goodness, that's pretty. I like the texture. It's smooth. A little goes a long way, right? I think you have to be careful with the brush that you use. This is a B Shadow brush. Silver Fox, I think is all Silver Fox actually. Soft, picks up ample product, but not too much. You don't need a lot of pressure with this powder because you'll get a lot, right? And that's why I think it's recommended, in my opinion, to tap off the excess before you go in on the face. I'm just gonna do a little extra buffing here to cut down on the application, because we got more cheek products on standby. And I love the compact. Love that Givenchy went with the bronze logo to distinguish it from their other compacts. This is the Prisme Libre pressed powder that's for setting, right? So great indication that it's a different product. So happy to see that. This is so pretty. The bronze, the shiny bronze, you can't go wrong with that. And now presenting the Givenchy Holiday Limited Edition Prisme Libre Loose Powder Highlighter. Retails for $48 without the discount. Color is N17, soft pearl and gold shimmer. Again, limited edition. And look at the packaging. I had to get this for the shiny cap, this woven multi-pearl quilted something was just gorgeous. And it is my first time using a loose powder or loose highlighter Givenchy powder, so I'm excited. This holiday season, Givenchy pays tribute to its heritage with a new limited edition loose powder highlighter in a soft pearl and gold shimmer shade. Encased in an exclusive golden case and includes an integrated puff, perfect for on-the-go touch-ups. Now, I don't know who's gonna touch up with a loose highlighter powder on the go, but I decided to buy this over the eyeshadow palette because unfortunately, and I didn't notice this online, you can let me know down below, I didn't see any distinct elements on the compact to indicate that it's from the holiday collection. You have to open the compact. It's not like the Dior quints that are all gold and clearly indicates that this is a limited edition moment from holiday. This indicates also, alongside their loose powder for limited, clearly shows that there's something special going on, and in this case for holiday 2025, that's why I had to. It's so pretty. And again, I love the Givenchy loose blush. I have not yet tried their loose setting powder. As you can see, I have the pressed setting powder. But yes, this is a little bit of a pain because you got to spank it and you got to prepare it, but you don't need much. You don't need much. This is actually all we're going to apply. Let's see. I'll choose our Sonia G Worker L from her Fundamental series. I'm going to get all that, ooh, don't lose it, loose powder in and on. Oh, I know, I'm overreacting. Listen, this, it's smooth, it's just enough glow. This is definitely not going to be a shiny highlighter. Oh, that is gorgeous. And you can probably, well, I guess it'll be tough to, because if you spank it, all powders are going to come out of the sifter, right? Maybe you tilt it to get a little more pearl versus gold powder. Oh, that is smooth. And the effect is just, oh, I love it. I don't care if it's high bandwidth in terms of is a little complicated, right? You just can't go in the pan. I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth going through the extra trouble of having this type of a highlight. Are you kidding me? Again, it just has that beautiful lit from within effect. That soft is more like a soft focus highlighter, which I think fantastic for those who like highlighter, but they're not into like the high shine metallic finishes, right? But you can get down with this. In my opinion, because I swatched this in store just to get an idea of the coloring, in my opinion, this looks better on than in a swatch. In a swatch, you'll get an idea of the finish. Of course, you'll get an idea of the color when it's all combined, the pearl and the gold, but until you get it on the skin, that's when the magic happens, family. Thank you Givenchy, I'm happy about you. Now we gotta put on a little bit of blush, and I bought one blush. I know, I'm surprised myself. The Glossier Cloud Paint Blush retails for $26, and I purchased in the shade Storm, which was often sold out. I was surprised that when I visited my Sephora that it was in stock. An innovative blush with a one-of-a-kind pillowy soft texture that delivers long-wearing buildable soft matte color while blurring the look of pores. And of course, since it's Glossier, it has a lot of skincare benefits. Clover flower extract, antioxidant rich to create a soft, powdered ceramized memory cloud texture. Okay, and this is a part of their cloud paint series, that those little tubes that look like paint tubes but they're liquid like a cream blush product, is one of their most popular products. Pillowy soft to the touch and transforms into a weightless let me get the product while I'm talking about it. Blendable powder with buildable color from a soft flush to a bold look. So we could control the intensity. Mix and blend shades with your fingers or the dual-sided cloud paint cheek brush sold separately. Did not pick that up. Now I forgot to mention, hold on, that the Givenchy products are of course made in Italy. 12 months suggested shelf life for the loose highlighter, 12 months suggested life for the pressed bronzing contour, and we have 12 months. Not too bad with a product such as this. Now the packaging is okay. I know they couldn't have gone with a shiny finish because that will defeat the point. The whole point is to indicate that this is a matte product, I think. And here is the texture close up. This reminds me of the Soshi, except I know this is a little more, it doesn't have the same wet feel on contact, but it packs a punch. I'm thinking I probably should have purchased, there was another color I had my eye on. It was Gale, the tawny mauve. It just looks so light in pan, but judging from how much I picked up from Storm is kind of insane. Storm is described to be as a warm rose, by the way. But you know what that's giving? Terracotta. I think that's a more appropriate description for the color in my opinion, but whatever. I think we're gonna have to go in with the Nicola Rose N20. I need something real wispy to not pick up so much because we got a lot going on already. Here we go. I'm just gonna lightly, I'm gonna do that and go in with the Swirl and Twirl. I probably started a little low. Ooh, that's what we need. You need some of that wispy wisp. So the new Refy Shoto 05 could work here as well, but this is a fantastic brush to better control the pickup, since I think a denser brush is just going to be too much. And this is synthetic. I think a natural hair brush, if it's goat, will be fine, but definitely something on the slightly stiffer side so it could actually maneuver the product around the cheeks. Oh, but that's pretty. It is definitely warm, but I like how it looks. It doesn't appear muddy when combined with the Givenchy bronzer. Here are a few close-ups of course, the contour powder, the highlighter, and the blush we just applied from Glossier. I really want to get into the lipsticks now. I don't want to get into the eye stuff. I mean, I don't have too much eye stuff. I just have the Merit, which we'll get into when we get to that application. I purchased another product scope because I love this mascara. Didn't open it yet because this is on standby. Oh, the eye tint. I got a new eye tint, by the way. We'll get there in a minute. I am dying to see if the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick in Mocha Berry is a suitable dupe for Louis Vuitton's Volcano Heart. And again, this is a full pigment matte and satin velvet lipstick. We have two finishes in the line. Retails for $26. I actually picked up two colors, by the way, if you saw on the footage. Berry Mocha, which is described to be a rich brown with cool berry hues. Yes. And Hazelnut, a beige brown with a neutral undertone. Hazelnut I thought was like a lovely looking beige that I could probably get away with without a liner, so I was looking forward to that. But here's Berry Mocha. Okay, let's set up the swatch lineup. I'm actually going to do it like this. It is rich, okay? And there are two shades from the Louis Vuitton line because, like the ABH, has both a satin and matte finish. This is Rumbling Storm, which is a satin, but to make a proper comparison, I'll now swatch this with Volcano Heart. Let's see what, oh yes. Okay, so Volcano Heart has more brown in it versus Berry Mocha, yes, has more berry. I still think it a lovely color, right? I'm partial to Volcano Heart because to have that more forward-leaning brown hue is like a higher top note than the berry. It's just beautiful. It's like that true dark deep brown, but we can still see Berry Mocha in action. Hold on. Super smooth. The ABH, in my opinion, is a little creamier than the Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is like a true matte. You know, unless these two lipsticks are side by side, I don't think you'll be able to tell. Although this might look, you want, okay, let's do the side by side. Of course, we gotta do the side by side. But just so you can, again, a quick note about the texture. There is a little bit of vanilla scent. I said in my Beautylish video that there wasn't any taste, but there's a little bit of a vanilla scent. I missed it. It's quiet though. I don't think it's as potent as, like, let's say, well, I just had the Tom Ford gloss. I don't have the Tom Ford lipstick, so I can't speak on the lipstick, but the gloss does have like a similar vanilla scent to it. Yeah, the Loubotin is drier for sure. What do you guys think between Berry Mocha and Volcano Heart? I do see there's more of like a brown top note in Volcano Heart for sure, but they're both vampy, beautiful lipstick colors. I do consider Berry Mocha to be a dupe for Volcano Heart. I know they're not exactly the same, but in terms of the effect, not a bad dupe if I say so myself. Let's now try Hazelnut, because I'm dying to show you how this beige looks solo. I'm telling you, I know it's a popular thing to pair this type of a color with like a light brown liner. I don't know why. I guess it depends on the mood I'm in or what other makeup I have, but it's not my first choice. But I am upset because I cannot find my Lisa Eldridge Shape and Sculpt lip liner in 1N. I have 2N. 2N actually might look okay with this. Hold on one sec. Oh, for crying out loud. I can't even find 2N now either. But it's okay. Let's just focus on Hazelnut for now. I think it can do well solo. The beige is not so pinky peach. It's like a grungy beige, which I prefer actually, and why I haven't been able to like any of the beiges from the Louis Vuitton line, because like New Necessaire is a popular shade, but one that I can't wear solo. I will have to doctor it up. But Hazelnut from ABH, I think it's fine on its own. What do you think down below, family? I also have Spicy Brown, no, sorry, making up names again. Spice, which is the Rose Brown, and Rose Brown, which is like a taupey brown. It's so pretty. I have that in my recently posted Petalmorphosis YouTube short tutorial, so you can see that in action. I also have it on for a good portion of my Sephora sale recommendations video, but this is pretty. I think this is a pretty beige. If you're my complexion, because I'm of a neutral undertone with a little bit of golden, just a tiny bit, and these colors work well for me. They do. I could wear a liner and I recognize the role it will play in adding more dimension to the lip. For sure. And when I get my hands on 2N, if I can find it, for crying out loud, I'll put that in action. But you know what I did get? The Fara Homidi lip liner, which I already own in Minky, but I decided to buy in Riche. You know I'm a fan of the Fara Homidi lip liners. I've already shown Minky in action, but the Smudge and Contour Lip Pencil, Riche a Warm Mid-Tone Brown, actually has some like mustard in it. And when I swatched it in store, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Sign me up. So here it is, and you see it's kind of like, let's see how it looks with Hazelnut. Let's see. On the very edges here, that's not too bad. It might be a little more. Like, I'm thinking I could wear this with Hung Bang Go's lipstick in Wildest Dream, for instance. That's not too bad. But this is what I'm talking about. I'd rather wear a liner that's not so high contrast, but just gives a little bit, like a little bit, not too much. You know, I don't want it to get crazy. The Fara Homidi lip liners I've already gushed about, as you know. Okay. But I love the shades, and the texture is fantastic. It's creamy, but it's not too slippy creamy. It adds nice structure to the lips. It helps to prevent feathering. If you want that reinforcement, it's nice. It's a unique shade, I think, because it's not too like deliberate warm brown. It's like a little terracotta in there. A little bit. It's almost like a ginger brown. Hey, relax. Eliza Ginger. This would look phenomenal with Gucci's Eliza Ginger. That's what I'm thinking. Good call. We had a lot of lip to go through because I kind of went crazy with the Refy lipsticks. Allow me to explain, but first let me remove this. Yes, we have more lipstick, and I purchased Refy, which I actually didn't know much of. I saw it in passing, but specifically their satin liquid lipstick pen with vitamin E. Retails for $28, comes in 6 shades, and you know, the browns got me. They did, but seeing this applicator online, I should have known. but I decided to give it a chance anyway because, again, the shades just completely and utterly seduced the heck out of me. And I said, let me give it a chance. Maybe I can forgive the applicator, because if the product and the shades are just so good that I'm able to tolerate the packaging, the design. Well, I tried 2 colors actually that same night I picked these up, Maple and Morello. Morello I had my eye on because Morello was sold out at that Sephora, and it sold out online still, the deep plum brown, of course, but it happened to be available at another location, so I picked it up there. I have 3. I totally overdid it, I know. I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate the applicator. I hate this round bulbous teardrop design with the metal ball in the middle. I don't know why they did that. And the reason why, and this is something I suspected just based on how it looked, it would have a hard time being precise in maneuvering the color around the lip in a precise fashion, because the liquid lipstick is on the center and it doesn't reach the tip of the, I'll show you. Let's start with Maple, the medium warm brown. And again, this is the applicator tip. It's quite messy, but it's pretty. And it is presented as a product that will allow me to read, a hydrating comfort wear liquid lipstick in buildable satin shades with an innovative applicator, trash applicator, that hugs the lip to define and fill in one step. So I understand what they were trying to get at, but it doesn't perform like that. The unique applicator combines a soft flock tip. Does that say flock? It does. With a cooling metal roller ball for a precise sensory application. A bold color made comfortable with a satin finish that hydrates and glides on effortlessly. It's available in universally found shade. Okay, let's dial it up. So you gotta click it up. Make sure you don't click up too much, and you can kind of see it emerge from the roller ball. And here's the thing. See, it's concentrated on the center of the applicator. So you kind of have to then get the majority on the center of the lip and then use the tip to get it close to the edges of your lip. So if you don't click up too much, that's the thing. If you click up too much, it could get a little crazy. See, I'm already messing up, but isn't that, see, okay, I'm not crazy of the applicator, but these are a few discoveries that I made. Don't click up too much product because you'll be insanely annoyed, and get the majority of the product on the center of the lip, not near the edges, so the lipstick has somewhere to go when you actually use the tip of the applicator to get near the edge. Maple's pretty. And as far as the liquid lipstick goes, okay, I was trashing the applicator, but it's a creamy consistency. There's no scent, taste to it whatsoever, completely neutral. It's silky. It has nice coloring, as you can see. Nice adherence too. It's incredible. It is a liquid satin lipstick, but it does feel as if I applied a satin lipstick from a bullet, for sure. And despite the applicator being fussy, it can feel satisfying to apply, but I think because this is like a medium shade, it doesn't present as much hassle as like the darker shades will, because with the darker shades, you do have to practice a little more caution because you don't want to get willy-nilly, you know what I mean? So with that said, I did pick up 2 more colors. Mocha, which is the medium neutral brown, and we'll go in with that next, but I love it. Come on. How does this, wait, with the Fara. Ooh, it goes well with the Fara. It does. Sign me up. It does move though. You gotta make sure you clean the inside of your lip because it will end up on the teeth, okay? Next we got Mocha, which I didn't try yet, so we gotta dial it up. Ooh boy, I might have done a little too much. I'm gonna do this instead. Oh, but look at that color. This might actually be a great dupe also for Volcano Heart. Well, in this case, Rumbling Storm, because Rumbling Storm is the satin. This gets so messy near the edge. Oh, it drives me nuts. I need a... What is happening? Help. I'm cleaning up. This is the Nikki LaRose brush. I think it's N23, yes. Because this applicator can get wild if you're not careful. And it did say you can build up the coverage. So once you've managed to get the amount of product you want, you could go in with another layer. And how about we swatch this next to Rumbling Storm? Let me get a little more here on the arm swatch. The inside of the cap's already a mess. But here we have Louis Vuitton's Rumbling Storm. There's definitely more shine in the Refy versus the Louis Vuitton. In Louis Vuitton, you see dare I say, it's like a cherry, kind of cherry brown, and there's more brown in Mocha. This actually is probably a liquid lipstick version of Volcano Heart, dare I say. So if you don't like matte anyway, and you're looking for a Volcano Heart dupe, you might want to take a look at the Refy liquid lipstick if you're able to tolerate this applicator. Or I think it's a suitable dupe for Cacao Temple from Loubotin. Oh, Cacao Temple has a little more red in there. Interesting. Mocha is like, they call it medium neutral brown. This is well dark on me, maybe medium on someone that's deeper complected than me, so I get that entirely. But that's pretty. Again, the applicators, whatever, but if you love these shades, man, maybe you could tolerate it. I know I am. And next we have Morello, which was sold out at one location and still out of stock online. The deep plum brown. My gosh, that is rich. Oh, I made a mistake. This is what happens. You can't start near the edge. I don't know why I'm unable to properly maneuver on the right side of the lip. I don't get it. Man, oh man, this is the darkest color out of the lineup, and it is vampy ampy. And I think appropriately described as a deep plum brown, for sure. Man, again, the applicator is just, look at the inside of the cap already. Oh, I knew it. It's a messy product. And I understand what they were trying to do with the innovative design and all. But couldn't you have just given me like a regular old doe foot, like the one that's found in the Suku Fluid Lip Glow? That's their liquid satin lipstick. And if they would have done that, if they just would have, I know, again, they don't want to be the same, but so much easier, less messy, okay? But the colors, I will stop complaining because I do enjoy the 3 shades I purchased. I'm sure I would enjoy others as well because they have their medium warm pink, medium to berry pink, the deep cool reds, and maple, mocha, and morello are like the browns out of the 6. I'm not saying you need all 3. This was definitely overkill, but if you adore these shades like I do, maybe consider it. That's all I'm saying. We got one more lip product. The Violet, am I pronouncing this right? The Violet FR Plume Lip Moisturizing Feather Matte Lip Whip. I purchased this in the shade. I didn't research this before. Hold on. How do you pronounce Châtaigne? Grillé. In Châtaigne Grillé, this is described to be a natural toasted chestnut, and I tried this on Monday night, immediately thought about South Korean lip products because when I put this guy on, it had just like a moussey sensation, cooling on contact. And what did I find on the label? Made in South Korea. I knew. Retails for $31, and I knew about the Violet line. I just didn't properly explore it, but this is a pretty cool product, and let's see it on. It's like a hybrid moussey liquid lip, but with like a balm sensibility. A mistake-proof feather matte hydrating liquid lipstick with a whip-like texture for weightless comfort and an ultra blurred medium coverage finish. I think it's pretty. And funny, on Monday when I was trying on the Refy because I just couldn't wait, and I showed Nay, Maple, and it was Morello, I think. He was like, I like those. But when I tried this on, I was like, what do you think? He's like, that looks dry. So he doesn't like the Violet very much, but actually I do, because I thought based off how it felt in store when I arm swatched it and the description that it gives me like that My Lips But Better blurred and soft matte, and the toasted chestnut color I think is so pretty. It's like a nice everyday shade to throw on. Low Fuss. And again, the texture is unique and there's just this lightweightness, like almost like a refreshing feel to the application that again felt like South Korea, because when I went on like a K-beauty liquid lipstick hunt last year and discovered all these like hybrid formulas I've never tried in my life and how unique they felt from other hybrid lipsticks I've tried prior, yeah, this definitely gives that for sure. And it's nice to have like a liquid matte that's not intense. It definitely delivers more of like a feather light application. I guess makes it more wearable and accessible in terms of the texture, but it's nice. Again, it is still a matte, so if you want to kind of offset the drying part of it, you could go in with like I go in with Vaseline first, but I like to tap the edges of my lip before it sets down to get that. You see what I'm saying? I like it. I know Nate doesn't like it very much, but I think it's a pretty color. It's, again, my lips but better. A little bit of like that, as it's described, like a chestnut rose. It's quite lovely. And a nice combination with Glossier Storm. Not a bad pairing if I do say so myself. Is that all the lip products? I almost bought a Givenchy color, but I left it behind because it's a beautiful red. It's like a toasted autumn red. And I said, listen, you can justify this, but you've already bought so many lipsticks already. Calm down, buy something you don't already have, okay? And I'm happy I went with the violet. And actually, they have their highlighter balm that was sold out in both locations I visited that evening. And it felt, or rather look, like the Victoria Beckham Reflect highlighter, but not as tight. So that's probably a really nice dupe. And I assume it's a great performing product because it was sold out everywhere. I don't know if it's sold out online, I'll have to check, but I might have to pick that up before the sales end. Or I did say to myself in store, maybe I should wait until Violette holds a sale on their site, maybe? If they do have their own online retail space, I have to check. This is, I think it's pretty. Nate doesn't know what he's talking about. What else do we have? Okay, we have two eye products. Yes, the Armani eye tint and the Merit. Let's start with the Merit first because this is a newer product from the line because they're known for, I think, their matte eye pots. This is the Solo Shadow Cream eyeshadow in the new shimmer finish. It comes in, well, the shimmer finishes come in new 6 shades. And originally I had my eye on Matchbook, but I decided to pick up Iris, well, for several reasons. Iris was one of the only ones on the shelf. Matchbook was out of stock, as well as the bronzier color, Sartorial. Sartorial online looks, it could give, like on the photo, it could give like a richer bronze hue, but on me, it didn't have that same effect. And that's why I was skeptical and decided to go with Iris. A surprising pick for me. Iris is more of like a mauve. And what am I gonna do? Hello, no room. With that, but I'm gonna try it out regardless. And we'll go in with a finger application because I think it has a nice kind of feel. It's super lightweight. I mean, this, I think, aligns with Merit's brand philosophy and overall aesthetic. Very like clean girl beauty, minimal, and just enough. But actually, Iris is quite nice. Maybe Sartorial would be nice too. Maybe I jumped to conclusions when I swatched it. So I do have my eye on still Matchbook, which is like a toasty copper shade, and Sartorial, which is the bronze. We'll see. We'll see. But that's pretty nice on the eyes, I gotta say. And if I wanted to amplify, or rather add a little more definition, I could go in with the VBB liner for sure. And the Merit eyeshadows retail for $26, so not bad if you could get 20 off, but maybe I can wait if they hold a brand sale closer to Black Friday. And of course, I just wanted to buy one Armani Beauty eye tint, the long-lasting liquid eyeshadow. I already have one in Sandalwood. I was having a hard time between Cedar and Wood and Khaki. Oh my gosh. But Cedar 30M gem is described to be a cool taupe matte. It retails for $39. I already gushed about the Armani eye tints in a video I filmed in the summertime, but to quickly go over, a long-lasting crease-proof liquid eyeshadow in multiple finishes, up to 16 hours of buildable color and a lightweight feel. Cedar, for me, I thought was like a beautiful taupe moment that I can wear solo on the eyes, and I've demonstrated this before, but it is insanely easy to blend with the finger. You'll get a more refined finish with a brush for sure, but all you need to do is simply tap. You see, Cedar's pretty. I knew it. I know I went super warm with the cheeks because I wanted to show what I got. Oh, but this color, this is like the perfect color to wear if I needed that light shading on the eyes, but didn't want to go crazy and maybe just follow up with mascara. And also, you know what I can do? So applied the eye tint first, but now following up with the merit, because the eye tint will reinforce the merit a little bit. Not too bad. You don't see as much shine on top of the eye tint as you do solo when just applied on the lid. But you know, just wanted to see how that would go. Oh, but I love the eye tint. I knew I was, and I didn't want to go crazy because again, maybe Armani will hold a better sale than 20% off. And if they do, I'm looking at Mahogany, which is the metallic finish. Want to try one of their shimmers as well. And from the matte line, looking at Wood as well as Khaki or Olive. I think the actual component said Olive, but online on Sephora says Khaki. Go figure. Those are the two that I'm looking at. I could argue for Ebony as well. That's a little too much. Ebony is probably an eye tint I wouldn't use as often as Sandalwood and Cedar, but I recognize with the quickness how that would just be S tier to build smoky looks. Oh, forget it. All right, I'm gonna choose what we'll have for the final look for the thumbnail, and I'll be right back to wrap up my thoughts. And here are the close-ups using my Sephora haul products. And I have to say, despite my itching about the Refy applicator, I do enjoy the formula, the texture, the colors that I chose, and having everything on, it was a delight. I'm happy with my selects and don't know if I'll go back for more. Any contemplation here? Let's see. I probably would pick up another Merit Beauty shadow. I know they're singles and might not be the most practical choice, but I'm curious about the two shades based off how Iris applied, because I think it looks better on, like I was describing the Givenchy loose highlighter, it looks better in action than it does in a swatch. And maybe I will give it the opportunity to build on my lid in a way that appears a little more hazy and not so lightweight on a arm swatch, because the shimmer is a true shimmer. It's not like wet effect or foiled. So definitely don't go looking or have those expectations for the new Merit Solo Shadow finish. Is definitely a demure, but I like that. I like how it's soft and it definitely is forgiving on a lid texture if you have any, where it's not super tight. It actually has like a nice creamy moussey feel to it. So you will be able to apply that successfully. I did use my finger, but I would use a stiffer shader brush to pick up the product and to move it well across the lid if you wanted to go the brush route. Lipstick here, lipstick everywhere. My goodness. Yes, I love these shades. The applicator is whatever, but I'll deal with it. The Anastasia lipsticks, I think one of the best lipsticks in the mid-tier category for beauty at the moment, and their newer shades, I think they've had this formula out, both the satin and the matte. They just added the newer shades recently, and ooh, I still have my eye on toffee. I didn't pick it up because I didn't want to go overboard, but Berry Mocha, I think a nice dupe for Loubotin's Volcano Heart, is still more on the plum side versus the brown side, but a beautiful color nonetheless. And Hazelnut is a beautiful grungy beige that I think would just grow on you instantly. And the Violette is lovely. The Le Plume is a beautiful color for every day, and it's not super drying on the lip. It's more of like a liquid blurred soft matte hybrid which just feels lovely on the application. Again, it's almost like you're applying water. In terms of that wet, cool feeling, I can't describe it until you actually use it. You'll know exactly what I mean when you try this lip product. Sign me up. Sign me up to Givenchy. Everything. I don't have all the products, but everything I've tried so far from the line, I know not all of it's going to hit. I get that. But this contour bronzer something, the bronzer powder, oh, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's definitely on the warmer side. If I were to compare this to the Fara Homidi, which by the way, my little Fara Homidi broke. I should have been more careful with handling it, but it cracked because it is a softer hybrid mousse to powder texture, but I'm still using it, okay? I didn't want to buy another refill. I'm being stubborn about it. This is definitely on the more warm side of things in my bronzer collection now, but the texture is beautiful. It's silky, it's blurring on the skin. Although it's matte, it doesn't appear dry. The loose highlighter, this I still can't get over. This might have been the greatest surprise out of all the products I purchased in this haul. I knew it was going to be good and I expected to still like it even if it didn't blow me away. Just because of the limited edition jar, I knew I was taking a chance. But man, the minute it hit the cheekbones, it said, I'm here for you, Alicia. Thank you for buying me. And I said, you're welcome. It's lovely. And again, it's limited, so this packaging won't return after all supplies have gone. But I'm happy that I got this little jar. I'm happy that they made it sparkly arcly for a holiday and it looks distinctly holiday limited edition. I like the Glossier Cloud Paint Blush. I think you would have a fun experimenting with the different types of brushes you can use this with. Again, I used it with the Nikki LaRose like wispy brush, but I suspect you could probably use it with something like the Bishoto synthetic dual fiber brush and tap it in. I applied it lower on the cheeks because I already have bronzer through the cheekbones, but if you wanted to just rely on this shade for both sculpting and blush purposes, you definitely could start it higher here into the hollows and get really nice shaping and coloring from this shade. Ooh, you know what I want to do? On top of the Givenchy, if you wanted a little more twinkle, I love everything. I do. And of course, the Armani eye tint. I'm waiting in the bushes in case Armani holds a better sale on their site. But man, oh man, I love this product. It is sensational. It is thin, but color rich. The blendability is just outrageous. I mean, you saw how easy it was for me to tap it on my lid and instantly have that smooth diffused finish along the edges as if I did use a brush. And the color itself, it has the right amount of shading for my eye socket that doesn't necessarily need more liner or what have you. I can just go in with lashes as I did for this look or follow up with my Protoscope mascara and be done. And just have that smoky, sophisticated eye, again, with just the right amount of haze, not too cool, not too warm. Cedar is it. If you're my skin tone and you're looking for that one and done hazy, shady shade for your eyes, I might look at Cedar. And just based off this performance, my gosh, now I want all of them. I know the matte might perform differently from the metallics and the shimmers, obviously, but I'm now curious to try a shimmer finish tint and a metallic finish tint. Oh yes, sign me up. And I think that's it, family. And that is it, family. Thank you for joining me on this Sephora haul first impressions. I am thrilled with what I purchased and I'm happy that I waited and didn't just impulsively buy everything that looked interesting to me, that I purchased products that I genuinely wanted to try, that I was enthusiastic about for like the last few months, like the Givenchy bronzing powder, and was instantly delighted when it performed and everything performed with high expectations. And there were other products that I left behind, such as the Isabella eyeshadow palette. I have those palettes when they first released from the Isabella brand when she went super BDSM and I have those compacts, and there's something about the kidney design of those eyeshadow palettes and how the inside is arranged, it just puts me off. I don't know why. It's something about it is off, and I quickly swatched them in store because I didn't want to buy two palettes that I literally have. They just were reformulated for her brand relaunch. And yes, I felt that they were silkier and they were softer in that they were easier to pick up and perhaps not as flaky as the formula found in her older palettes. And I'm sure that would have made for like a fantastic experience with those shadows in those finishes specifically. But I thought it would have been overkill. And until and maybe Isabel will run a better sale, and if I were to pick one, because they're both lovely, I would pick the grungier one, because I think the grungier palette had the tougher, flakier textures in the original release, and the reformulation will probably, in my opinion, for me, be better appreciated in that palette versus like the iridescent ethereal lighter palette. So I might pick up like the grungier one up before the sales end, maybe. But again, I'm not crazy about how it looks. I wish she went a different route, but whatever, it's fine. It's just who am I? And I did swatch Gilded Nirvana, but it was sold out. It was sold out in store, and it's funny, those shadows look like the ones in the limited edition Chanel Holiday 9-pan palette, because the Chanel 9-pan had like similar duochromes like what's found in Gilded Nirvana. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy Space Traveler over Gilded Nirvana, but yes, I did recognize how lovely the shades were in Gilded Nirvana. They were silky and like wet looking, and just the finger swatches were insane, right? I didn't swatch it on my lid. I'm just making this motion to indicate as if I were applying in real life. I swatched it on back of hand. Beautiful, shiny, and it had like a wet effect look to the texture. Incredible. But I was like, you know, you're not really wearing them shadows like that anymore, Alicia. Like, look at the eye look I have on now. I am perfectly content with this, and this is why I just haven't been gravitating towards the super intense duochrome, like wet effects, foil this, foil that types of eyes, because I think I've been embracing cheeks and lips a little bit more, and why I've been more quiet in the eye department. I could change my mind, but I didn't feel inclined, or still don't feel inclined, to purchase Gilded Nirvana. As much as I love Pat McGrath, okay, I have all of her motherships. Listen, I got a lot of eyeshadow. I can still love Pat McGrath and not buy everything her brand releases. I did buy Louis Vuitton, okay? So it's not like I didn't demonstrate any support for her whatsoever this year. So I just had to make a choice. And it's funny, if I were to buy Gilded Nirvana or the Chanel palette, I would buy the Chanel palette. I know, 160 versus I think is 78. You're insane. Yes, I am. Because the Chanel palette is a little more special in that it's limited edition. I know Gilded Nirvana is, but hear me out. That Chanel rarely releases 9-pan palettes. That is unique for them. More pointedly unique for them, Chanel, to release duochromes like that, knocking on the door of like indie, like not completely there, okay? Don't get mad at me for making that comparison. I know my place. But for Chanel, the demure Chanel, barely there but just enough, whisper like, no, they came with the duochrome, sparkly arcly, full blast in Space Traveler. I mean, totally full blast. So if I were to make a choice, I can't buy both. It's either one or the other. I would probably go with Space Traveler because it has the black shadow as well as like that warm brown, whereas Gilded Nirvana only has like that rose mauve matte, and I can't recall if they had another matte. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you'll let me know down below for sure. Let me know if you picked up anything from the Sephora sale, if you have your eye on anything else, if you are going back to pick up more stuff. And if you made it this far, make sure you like this video by clicking that thumbs up. It helps me immensely in letting the YouTube algorithm know that I'm fun to watch and will now continue to watch, and will perhaps now recommend my videos to other beauty enthusiasts such as yourself. And consider subscribing. Maybe, who knows, there'll be more hauls in the future. Not crazy one, maybe some products here and there, and you'll know when that video drops immediately, especially when you click that notification bell. And of course, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the watch, friend. But if it's your first time here, please stay, peruse some more. Maybe I'll see you in this video here. I'll definitely see you down in the comments for this one, and on here again next time.